The City of Johannesburg's officials will today provide an update on the current state of the city's water supply aimed at stabilising and improving the system. That media briefing has just about kicked in. Let's listen in.
And operate like any other system in Johannesburg. It must not necessarily rely on high levels of water at the upstream reservoirs, because currently when the upstream reservoirs are really drop, say below 40%, this system struggles to get water. It only really gets water when levels are very high, and that cannot really be a way that we can be able to sustain supply in that area. So it's for that reason that there's this investment going on. And of course, the investment that's going on is the issue of the Crosby bulk infrastructure project, where we are looking at the new pump station for Crosby, as well as the new bulk line, which will be starting from the Reservoir end point coming to the city of Johannesburg. So the contractor have started in the last few months, and the work is currently at about 8% complete, and that project should be completed in December 2026. The second one is the project that has been happening. We have taken the members of the media to that project, is the issue of the Brixton Reservoir and Tower, which the project is almost complete. We are looking at really commissioning that reservoir in October 2025. Basically, in a month's time or so, we'll be commissioning that reservoir. We're currently finishing the last part of the work, including the testing of the reservoir. Of course, another key issue is the renewal of the existing reservoir, which we are looking at the Hestel 2 reservoir in the main, as well as Hestel 1 reservoir. But Hestel 2, we have appointed the contractor, so the work will be starting for at Hestel 2 reservoir. And I must add also Hestel 1 reservoir, you'll see it later in my presentation when we talk about reservoirs that we are going to be refurbishing across the city. That reservoir, Hestel 1, we will be having contractor appointed, starting with the work in November 2025. So we've reported before that we are also looking at the issue of the water supply augmentation. The project has started where really the informal settlement, especially those informal settlements that we know that in the past we had problems of legal connection happening. We've indicated that we need to have a localized borehole scheme that will be able to supply those informal settlements. So the project have started. We appointed Vets Enterprises, which is, of course, Vets Enterprises working with the partners to really assist us in implementing this. And they were appointed end of July. And we are happy to report that the drilling of the first boreholes will be starting before end of this month. And this, since we appointed them, there have been work happening around geophysical determination. So this is the project that we are very excited about it, because it will help us in dealing with the issue of eliminating illegal connection that happen, especially those illegal connection that happens next to our bulk line. We are also on the water supply augmentation, looking at the issue of the treated effluent reuse. In this project, basically, we are looking at the public-private partnership model, where together with GTEC is really a unit of National Treasury. They've assisted us to appoint the transaction advisory, which the TAs were appointed in April 2025, and the work have really started, and we're expecting that in a year's time, meaning May 2026, a feasibility study will have been concluded, and the project will really be going into the next stage, which will be procurement of really getting a partner that can help us in making sure that we are really venturing into the issue of the effluent reuse that comes out from our plant in Northern Works. So as Johannesburg Water, we've indicated that there is a turnaround plan which was approved by Council, and part of the plan really is to ramp up the issue of the investment in our infrastructure. Our 10-year plan indicates that we need to be investing the 32.5 billion into the water infrastructure in the city of Johannesburg. And of course, there will be areas that we'll be focusing on. This is the issue of our water and sewer network. We'll also be looking at the issue of the water demand management. We'll also be looking at the issue around dealing with our plants or wastewater treatment works as part of this 10-year investment of 32.5 billion. So as this is the year that started last month, this is our first year, In terms of that 32.5 billion, we are investing in the current year 1.75 billion, which is really, you'll see that it's part of the commitment of, say, in 10 years' time, we should have invested that 2.5 billion, simply because you can see that there's a ramp up of investment in this year one from what we've been investing in the past, around 1 billion to 1.2 billion in the main. For the very first time, we're investing 1.7 billion. And what are the key projects that we'll be looking at? Of course, water demand management is key, where in the current year, 180 million will be going to the water demand management. We are also looking at the issue of storage capacity, where we are looking at those areas across the city where we have weaknesses around our storage capacity. Our minimum.
All right, we've been listening to Joburg Water. They're giving an update on how they plan to solve the widespread water woes in the city of Johannesburg. That's Nchabeni Mukwebo, who's the managing director of Joburg Water, who's mentioned that they need 32 billion rand or so to actually sort out these issues over the next 10 years.